My name is Liz Auguste, and I'm here to share my story of my journey with Bell's palsy. It was exactly 3 weeks ago, on the 9th of May, when my face changed. I've always worn a beautiful smile. I think it was adorable, and it still is. It's just inside here right now. But on the 9th of May, I began to feel some discomfort in my left eye. It was actually very dry, it became dry and was itchy. And I thought it was just regular allergies. And so I was looking all over the place, trying to find my eye drop. But it progressed throughout the afternoon until the eye became bloodshot. And this time I got a bit concerned, but I was still like, that's a serious bout of allergies, considering I've not been out too much for the week because I had a very terrible extraction the week before. And so I was recuperating. And as the night began to fall, I began to feel a sharp headache, but it was not just in my head. I began to feel it in my eye, and my eye began to just like zap and give me this kind of pulling sensation, which progressed into further pain, which extended down to my neck. And eventually, I felt that my tongue was very heavy and the taste was like metallic. And so suddenly I just lost my sense of taste. But I was still confused. But when the symptoms began to intensify, I actually thought that I was getting a stroke. So I went ahead to take my blood pressure, and it was astronomically high. I was in a crisis zone. And so the next thing that I had to do was to try to check myself into the emergency room, because if I had stayed home, I know that I would probably not have survived given the high level of my blood pressure. I was not able to see earlier as well. When I was trying to read, I was doing some work on the screen, and so my eyes, it's like I almost was not able to see very well. And then I noticed that the side of my mouth was on the side. And so I'm like, wow, these are stroke symptoms because of my food and nutrition health background. I'm also a certified nutrition coach. And so I was very much aware of my body changes. And that's how I ended up in the emergency room. And when I got to the emergency room, there was a stroke alert that was announced through the intercom of the ER. And that was for me. So up to this point, I really thought that I was getting a stroke until the diagnosis came that it was Bell's palsy. Why am I here today, 3 weeks after? I am here because I want to raise awareness of what Bell's palsy is, what it does to you, as you can perhaps see, and how it makes you feel, but also to let those who experience it or those who may experience it, because through research I'm finding that for a figure of 40,000 Americans, 40,000 Americans to get Bell's palsy within a year, that is for me very serious. But yet, why is it that we've not heard much about it? Why does it seem like a silent condition? But why is it silent when all of a sudden you are disconnected from your smile? To me, that speaks volumes, because your smile really is what speaks out. And so you suddenly lose your smile. And so I'm here to be able to say to those who've gone through the condition, and by the way, survey tells us that about 10% of the persons who've gotten this condition can get a reoccurrence. That to me is a serious cause for alarm. And so I'm here today to share my journey with you so that you can be more sympathetic to persons who've had the condition. But if you are experiencing that now, that you can know that there is hope. And like me, though you cannot see the smile on my face, it is in my heart. Welcome to the Smile Again Project. I am your host, Liz August.